There's two circumstances where it's desirable to change the split nut. If you're changing the tunings of your hurdy-gurdy and substituting different string thicknesses than the ones that are currently on there, you'll need to adjust the split nut to accommodate the new string thickness. The other circumstance, if you're having problems tuning your tangents and you just can't get them into proper alignment, an adjustment to the split nut will correct that. If you're replacing a broken string on your instrument with the exact same kind of broken string, you won't need to worry about the split nut. For instance, if you have a gut .037 for your G chanter, just off the top of my head, and you're replacing it with another gut .037 string, yeah, no need to worry about the split nut. The split nut is located inside the key chest at the head end of the instrument. As you can see, the split nut is held in place by a set screw. Our current models will use a small Phillips head screwdriver to make the adjustment. Our older models will use an Allen wrench. If you have an instrument by another hurdy-gurdy maker, you may have a different kind of mounting screw. However, the concept's the same. To adjust the split nut, you loosen the set screw, and this will allow you to slide the split nut back or forth. How do you know which way to adjust it? If we adjust the split nut to slide it forward towards the wheel, that will make the whole scale get a little bit flatter. If we slide the split nut backwards away from the wheel, that'll make the whole scale get a little sharper. The best place to start though when making an adjustment is with your number 7 diatonic key. We want to make sure the tangent on this key is straight up and down. If we need to, we'll loosen the set screw and adjust it. Lock it back down. Here's where an electronic tuner comes in really handy. First, we'll make sure our open string is in tune. In this case, on this instrument, my string is tuned to G. Your instrument may vary, but for the sake of illustration, the point will be the same. Once we have the open string in tune, then we'll push that number 7 diatonic one, the octave key. It should also be in tune. We see that I'm quite a bit flat here. So if we remember from earlier, if we move the split nut towards the wheel, makes everything flatter. Away from the wheel makes everything sharper. In this case, my number 7 was too flat, so I need to make it sharper. So I'm going to pull the split nut back. Since I've adjusted it now though, I'm going to have to retune the open string before I can continue. Double check the octave again. Still a little flat, so I'm going to make a greater adjustment. I'm going to pull that split nut back a little more. Usually you'll need to retune your open string again. It's always a good idea to check. Check that octave now. That looks pretty good, so I'll just lock the split nut down. Now that we've got that done, we can go through and tune the rest of the tangents. Once you've gone through and tuned your tangents, if you find that your scale is just a little out of pitch despite your best efforts, there's more adjustments you can make. If your scale is generally running just a little too sharp, you could pull the split nut forward a little bit to just flatten everything overall. If your scale overall is running a little too flat, you could pull the split nut back just a little bit to make everything just a little sharper. So make the adjustment, lock it down, go through and retune again. We have another video on tuning tangents, so I won't cover that here. If you've tried all the other steps in this video and you're still having trouble, it could be that your actual chanter bridge has shifted a little bit. we want to double check the distance between the number 7 diatonic key and the inside edge of the chanter bridge. For this operation, our ruler comes in handy. The first thing we'll do is put the 0 end of the ruler right in the dead center of the tangents on the number 7 key. There's a better view. My general procedure is to place my head directly over this number 7 key here so that I'm actually looking down on the mounting screw. It's kind of hard to see from your perspective because it's behind the post of the tangent, but you can still get the idea of what I'm talking about. I'll line this edge of the ruler directly over that mounting screw. So it's covering half the mounting screw, so it's covering right in the middle of it. Okay. On the other end, we'll check our chanter bridge. We want to check this inside edge. It should be exactly 6 3/4 inches on our instruments. If you're playing a hurdy-gurdy by another maker, double check with them what this measurement should actually be. As you can see on our ruler, that 6 3/4 inch mark lines right up, so our chanter bridge is fine. However, if yours is off a little bit, like you lined it up in the middle with the number 7 key, like we did a moment ago, but then you check the chanter bridge and it's something like that, it's leaning too far forward, or if it's leaning too far back from that 6 3/4 mark, we'll need to adjust the chanter bridge. This is pretty easy. You see we've got this tensioner here with a little screw threaded thing here on the inside. We can either loosen or tighten that, and that will either let the chanter bridge dip forward a little more or pull it back. And you can adjust it until that measurement is exactly correct with the 6 3/4 inch mark. Again, be sure that the other end of the ruler lines right up with the middle of that number 7 diatonic key. Once you get this correct, go through, adjust your split nut again. You won't have any trouble getting your scale in tune.